Transnational communities is defined by Soros as communities constructed by trans migrants, characterized by intertwining familial relationships across locations, identification with home or sending locations, and the ability to mobilize collective resources. One of the places where you can see a mixture of culture is in food. More specifically, I will be talking to you all about U.S. Mexican food. It can also be referred to as Tex-Mex food. We can see that just in the name there is a representation of a mixture of two cultures. I chose this artifact because I can personally relate to the topic. I myself am a mixture of cultures. My parents are both Mexican, but I was born and raised in America. This makes me a Mexican American. A new consciousness is created where we can see the mixture of two different cultures. As Gloria Anzaldúa puts it, from this race, ideological, culture, and biological cross-pollination, an alien consciousness is presently in the making. A new mestiza consciousness is a consciousness of the borderlands. For the purpose of this presentation, I chose to focus on 3 different restaurants: Chipotle, Qdoba, and Illegal Pete's. I chose to focus on these 3 restaurants because of its close proximity to DU and the fact that most DU students are familiar with these 3 restaurants. I will be going in depth into their menus, which were all found on their websites, and see how their menus represent the transnationalism related to the U.S. and Mexico. To start, I will talk about Chipotle. Fun fact, Chipotle was founded here in Denver. The first Chipotle is located just a couple blocks from campus. When you initially look at the menu provided to us by Chipotle.com, we can see that the first thing that comes up are different types of meats or meat supplements. You see the expected like steak or chicken, but there's also choices like carnitas, chorizo, barbacoa, and sofrito, which are all words in Spanish. Here is where we can see our first example of a mixture of U.S. and Mexican culture. From here, we move on to rice and beans. There's an option of either brown or white cilantro lime rice. Typically in Mexican culture, red rice is used. Tomato base is what makes rice red. We don't see this as an option provided by Chipotle. We can also have a choice between black and pinto beans. This is an interesting choice to me because depending on the region of Mexico you are from, you will tend to eat different types of beans. Usually people from the north will eat pinto beans, and usually people from the south will tend to eat black beans. There are also a variety of salsas and toppings that you can have. All these ingredients can be ordered in a form of a burrito bowl, soft taco, crunchy taco, quesadilla, nachos, and a salad. For the menu, it was evident that there is a cultural mixing occurring between the U.S. and Mexico and Mexican food. Chipotle does claim to be a Mexican grill, but it still has an influence of U.S. culture. To continue, I will discuss the Qdoba menu, which again was found on its website. At a first glance, it appears to be very similar to Chipotle. They offer similar entrees like burrito, taco, salsas, and nachos. A big difference can be seen once you look at the meat and meat substitutes options. The vocabulary is very different from Chipotle. There are words like chicken, steak, beef, and pork. They use English words to describe the types of meats that are offered. Essentially, Chipotle and Qdoba offer the same type of meats, just the vocabulary is different. Qdoba also offers queso, which is why they are very well known. Queso is basically just cheese fondue. When you compare Chipotle and Qdoba's menus, there are a lot less Spanish words used. This can be due to the fact that the U.S. American culture is more dominant in the Qdoba franchise. Finally, we can look at Illegal Pete's. When looking at its menu options as provided to us by its websites, it seems that there's a mixture between what we saw in the Qdoba menu and the Chipotle menu. There are some words in Spanish and some words in English. Some of these words are like carnitas or shredded beef. We still see the options of pinto and black beans, brown and white rice. We also see a variety of toppings that we also found in the Qdoba and Chipotle menu. These restaurants essentially serve the same thing, just the vocabulary that they use is very different. Some restaurants tended to use a lot more English words than Spanish words. These restaurants are known for its big portions or heavy hand, as described in lifeintheus.com article published about Mexican food. Traditionally, the US is known for its big portions. When you visit these restaurants, these big portions are very obvious because burritos can be as big as a regular mason jar or 5 times as big as a normal burrito. The way that the US Mexican food is influenced can vary depending on different intersecting identities associated with culture. An article found on the Ohio Line by Ohio State University explains culture as culture encompasses many attributes of a society, including social, economic status, religion, age, education, social class, location, length of time in the U.S., location of origin, and of course, food habits and dietary patterns. In all 3 restaurants, we can see the influence of culture and how U.S. and Mexican culture mix and intertwine to create franchises such as Qdoba, Illegal Pete's, and Chipotle. U.S. Mexican food is an excellent example of transnationalism because we can see the mixture of 2 cultures. Chipotle, Qdoba, and Illegal Pete's offered excellent platforms to analyze this because we were visually able to see the mixture of these 2 cultures. Thank you.